This Trenton Board of Education comes to an opening. Please stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Yolanda Lopez,
Present.
Gerald Trueheart, Gene Bowie, Addie Daniels Lane,
Present.
Austin Edwards, Denise Johnson,
Present.
Sasa Montagna, Jeannie Weeklam, absent, Larry Trailer.
Present.
We have a quorum.
The New Jersey Sunshine Law. The New Jersey Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right to the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interest is discussed or acted on. On the rules of this act, the Trenton Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting by publicizing the date, time, and place, therefore posted on the webpage, the Times, and the Star Ledger. Formal action will take place at this meeting. Mission statement. All students will graduate with a vision for their future, motivated to learn continually and prepared to succeed in their choice of college or career. If I may please have a motion to adopt the agenda with the following addendums. In human resources, personnel, new hires, retirements, athletic appointments, and personnel transactions.
Moved.
Second.
Roll call. Yolanda Lopez.
Yes.
Gerald Trueheart. Gene Bowie. Denise Johnson. Austin Edwards.
Yes.
Jeannie Weeklam, absent, Addie Daniels Lane,
Yes.
Sasa Montagna, Larry Trailer.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Test.
Superintendent?
Good evening, and welcome to this beautiful spring day. I know if you're like me, the outside looks really nice. The inside looks great, but the outside looks really, really nice. So we're happy that you could join us, for those of you who are visiting today or joining us for the board meeting. I have a few announcements, some information just to share. Just quickly, just an update on the lead issue at Grant Intermediate School. We will be sending out an update on testing. We've had 2 testing cycles. If I remember correctly, we've tested about 80 or so students and probably near 25 or 30 staff members and testing is not mandatory. So we're happy that people did come to do lead blood testing. That's the only way to determine whether you have potential lead in your system, is to do a blood test. And we've offered that for free at Grant School on 2 occasions. The next one is the following spring break. We have a 3rd, and we're working with the Trenton Health Department to continue testing for as long as necessary to give individuals an option. So please stay tuned to the website for the actual dates. If I say those and you don't write them down, that way you can go to that site. We have a space dedicated for that information. Couple of quick announcements. We have a resolution. Just want to call your attention to H8 in the resolution when you see the agenda referencing the Crown Act. It's just legislature in New Jersey passed to create respectful and open workplace for natural hair. As many of you may remember, a young man was wrestling and had to have his hair cut. And so we just put a resolution on stating that we support the Crown Act, always have in Trenton and always will. And so not an issue here, but we wanted to stand strong with the other districts in Mercer County doing so. Also on the agenda is the updated calendar for this year. We've had to make some adjustments. I did speak to that last board meeting regarding potential adjustments to that calendar, and we have this on today for approval. Some of the things that you can see is we moved April 22nd board meeting because of the budget calendar to the 29th. We removed the May 24th emergency closing day. We have to use that day. We moved the last day of school from June 21st to June 25th, which means June 24th and June 25th are the last 2 days. They are half days. And graduation also moved. You can see this in the calendar when it's approved. Graduation at Twilight High School will be on June 24th. Graduation at Trenton Central High School will be on June 25th. And the last day of school for staff is June 26th. That is a result of using snow days. We needed to use those days because we had emergency closing and we had one emergency day. And I know that's always a question, how many do you put in? We do our best to accommodate all of the days that we are off, which sometimes limits the number you can put in. However, we believe this is the best solution to the calendar. Just also wanted to, I know it was announced at the last board meeting by the TEA leadership, the Trenton Education Association, but we also are very excited that we came to an agreement in negotiations and that the bargaining unit did ratify the contract. And so we're excited about that and look forward to continue the collaboration with them moving forward years from now. So we want to thank our team, our negotiations team, and the board and the negotiations team for TEA for the work done. And sometimes it's very difficult, but we stay with it and stay in a partnership, and you get good results that way. So I just want to thank all involved for getting to that point. April 19th is our budget. Somewhere around April 19th or late April will be our budget presentation. In past years, because we're a type 1 district, we gave a budget presentation because we had the Board of School estimates earlier. And some people have reached out to me about the board budget presentation. That presentation will take place after the approval because the governor approves that April 19th. Is that right, Ms. Howard? Somewhere around that time. So after the budget's approved, we can present the budget to the public. So it's later because the shift, we're an elected board now, we're also a type 2 district, so that shift needs to be made. Also was mentioned in the last board meeting was translation services. There were several members that brought that up as a concern with our district being multilingual, and the majority of the families and parents we serve speak Spanish, and many are speaking other languages. The need for translation services at our board meeting and in other spaces at meetings. So we are in the process of vetting vendors, looking at vendors. We're looking at our past presentations on YouTube where we translated board meetings to get some idea of if that works, and we intend to have a solution very soon, if not by the next board meeting. So we are diligently, team members on my staff and board members working together to come up with the best solution for translation services when you enter our spaces to make sure everyone can participate, join and participate, which is very important. Also, we've heard from our security officers on numerous occasions. I know I've been stopped in hallways and in different venues about their pay and the fact that they haven't been paid. We want our security team to know that we stand with them and have reached out to the vendor to see if there is a resolution. We don't have all of the details, but we know that some of our security may join us this evening to speak on that. We are well aware and hopeful that there's a resolution soon, because if you work, you should be paid. And it's pretty simple. It's not much more to say than that. And I'm not sure what the issue is, but our vendor works closely with our team, and we're hopeful to find a solution soon. And then one thing that we're really excited about and working on for a little while is you'll hear very soon, and we're going to roll it out kind of without guardrails, so to speak. We're working on the details, but Pear Deck Tutor, it's an online tutoring service. It does not replace first-person instruction. It does not replace supports after school. Imagine in districts not like Trenton, students can access tutoring because their parents may have resources. They may be able to go out and pay for Kumon or some of the other locations. What we found is a way for our students to do the same virtually, 24 hours, 7 days a week, in their native language. Parents can be a part of it. So Pear Deck Tutor, if you want to write that down, you will see that marketed very soon. But it gives our students an opportunity to level the playing field. So often when you're in these spaces where you have to compete, it's not always about what you don't know. It's if you have the resources to do everything that you can do. So we're very excited that Pear Deck Tutor will be coming aboard. We've been approved, met with our vendor. We have our access passes for our students. It's loaded onto ClassLink, and I may get all of that right or wrong, but just truly, truly excited because we believe this is a game changer for a student who's on a Saturday night, speaks a language, just came to Trenton and want to make sure that they have the supports they need in their classroom, along with their teachers. We're also excited about a grant we just received around high impact tutoring. So we'll be engaging staff in this same process. And many of our teachers tutor now. So we're just trying to go above and beyond what we can offer and what we do, and really excited about that. So, and then last on my plate is to share information. I'm going to introduce Mrs. Grant, who will come up and talk about school-based youth services and introduce the team that will share information about their services and what they do at the secondary level with our middle school and high school children. Thank you, Mrs. Grant.
All right, good evening. So I'm here to do a little pre-introduction to Miss Melda Grant, who will be coming up and giving an overview of school-based youth services. You may remember that school-based youth services a few years ago only provided services to students at Trenton Central High School. We're happy to announce that in more recent years, we've been able to expand those services to all middle and all high schools. That this includes mental health services, clinicians, youth specialists, special programmings, and programs for our pregnant and parenting youth. We're happy to provide this presentation, which will give you a deeper dive and give more information about this valuable program and the services that it provides for our children and their families. School-based youth services, Ms. Melda Grant.
So thank you to Assistant Superintendent Grant, and thank you all for your time. It's an honor to be able to present about our services. And I just want to also say thank you to Superintendent Earl and to the board for these last 4 to 5 years of advocacy to ensure that school-based youth services remains in effect and at the high school. So I thank you, and I just wanted to publicly just make that announcement. And I'm pressing the I'm sorry. So the buttons are skipping on me. So the school-based youth services were funded by the State of New Jersey Department of Children and Families. And as you know, the school-based program is under Governor Corzine's newly created Department of Children and Families. So the Department of Children and Families was created in 2006. We are currently under the Office of School-Linked Services within the Division of Prevention and Community Partnerships. So the New Jersey School-Based Youth Services Program was actually started in 1987. And the program at the high school is one of the originally funded programs. At that time, there were about 10 to 15 school-based programs. So we have actually been in existence at Trenton Central High School for about 37 years. And the goal or the focus of the school-based programs is to help young people navigate their adolescent years, finish their education, obtain skills leading to employment or continuing education, and to graduate healthy and drug-free. So as you see, the goal and the vision of the school-based program aligns with the district's mission. So there are approximately 90 school-based programs throughout the state of New Jersey, and they're in urban, suburban, and rural school districts. And each site develops programming based on the needs of their locality and their individual schools. As Mrs. Grant has mentioned, the Trenton Board of Education has funded an expansion of the original program, so now we are actually in 6 schools within Trenton Public Schools. So we provide year-round support services for students and families. All of our services are free and confidential. They're offered before school, during school, and after school, and offered during the summer. So any student is eligible for school-based services as long as they're enrolled in that school. So the process is that a student would be referred to school-based youth services. And we accept referrals from anyone, from school staff, community. A student may walk in, other students may refer students. And we accept referrals from administrators to custodial staff. And a lot of times we find that the security guards and the custodial staff are some of our main sources of referral because they're in the hallways, they hear the conversations, and they often live in the communities and are familiar with the families of the students who are referred. But our administrators, our teachers, our guidance counselors, we work very well with, and we are definitely in partnership with them and our culture and climate specialists. So a student is referred, and then we must obtain parental consent. And then once the student is deemed appropriate for our services, there's an intake assessment, and then a file is created for each student, and then they're entered into our data management information system. So there are 3 components to the school-based youth services programs. There's our mental health component that provides individual, family, and group counseling with a master's level clinician. There's our positive youth development component that focuses on building self-esteem, positive relationships, and pretty much helping youth cope positively with any issue that is presented. And then there's our parent linking program, and this is the program for our expectant and parenting teens. And within that program, the goal of the program is to prevent dropout. Most teen parents, when they have a child, they don't have access to childcare. So a lot of times they end up dropping out of school. So the program is designed to assign a case manager who provides intensive case management to each student. We provide transportation from the for the custodial parent and child from home to the high school. Then the child goes into the daycare center, and then the student attends school. And then the caveat to that is that they must participate in weekly parenting and life skills sessions. So I'm going to come back to the TCH LOS. So right now, under the PLP program or our parenting program, there are currently 26 enrolled expectant or parenting teens at the high school. Of them, 4 are fathers, 4 are expectant, and 18 are currently parenting. Of the 26, 13 are seniors, and I am so happy to be able to say that because each year we see these teen parents graduate, and I can honestly say that without this program, we would not see the rates of graduation that we do. And there are currently 11 children enrolled in the actual child care center. Our capacity is 12. So although there's 26 enrolled in the program, all of them may not use the child care services. So the other piece to that is that we have 1 classroom currently, and we're currently in the process of converting the office to a 2nd classroom so that we can increase the number of slots in the child care center. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the expansion program. Now, Dennis warned me that it would do this. So at Trenton Central High School, so I just want to point out that the numbers here are the services that require consent. So these are our individual counseling numbers and our intensive group numbers, all of which require consent. So at the high school, there are 69 individuals who come either weekly or bi-weekly and are seen by our mental health clinicians. And there are about 549 in group, and I'll tell you why that number is much larger. At Daylight, there are 35 individuals and 30 in group. At Tenga, there are 35 receiving individual counseling, 72 in group, 20 and 12 at Dunn, 41, 39 at Holland. And King, we just hired staff at King, so right now there's 9 individual and 17 group. And where you see on the side where it has YDS only or mental health clinician only, that means that there's only 1 staff person at that site. And again, I just want to emphasize that these are consented services. So there have been 17 students overall that have been referred to crisis or mobile response. And I can honestly say that there's been a decrease in the number of students that we've been referring out to crisis because we've spent a lot of time training our staff in safety planning. The students themselves are involved in their own safety plans as well as their families. The safety plans focus on an increase in coping skills and protective factors. So we've seen, while we may have seen a decrease in referrals to crisis, what that means is it's not saying that we're not sending kids to crisis. If they're homicidal or suicidal, or if their anger levels are high, or if they've had a history of suicide, we definitely refer out to crisis. However, with the safety planning, we found that the ideation may decrease, or the frequency of ideation may decrease, because they are a part of that planning process. And they're actually implementing the safety planning plan, and it involves family, it involves staff, it involves community, it involves other school personnel. We've been able to make a lot of resources available. 10% of the staff at the high school have been trained in youth mental health first aid. And what happens now is a lot of the referrals that we used to get, staff are coming to us now saying, I was able to implement what I learned in that training, and I'm able to ask the appropriate questions. So we've been receiving less referrals for crisis because staff have been trained to identify certain needs. Based on our referrals, I would say our number 1 referral is for grief and loss. We've had a number of students who have experienced tremendous grief, not just COVID related, chronic illnesses, accidents, gun violence, domestic violence. And with the loss piece, it's incarceration, or moving from one country to another, or from one state to another, or from one district to another. So we've received a lot of referrals for grief and loss. So each of the 6 schools has implemented a grief and loss support group. And I also want to add, most kids now, it's their friends, it's their siblings, it's their cousins, their parents. So unconventional losses that we've seen in the past are tending to present. It's All About Me and the Brotherhood are groups that are gender-based, where we promote sexual health, positive self-imagery, positive connections. Our Safe Dates curriculum is actually an evidence-based program that we actually implement in our health classes. It's a dating violence prevention program. So our staff go into the health classes twice a year, and that large number that you saw earlier, that 500, that's the reason that number was so great, because we're able to go into all of the health classes. And we've had students come into our offices after this particular presentation and say, I think I'm in a toxic relationship, or I think I've been abused, or I think I may be the abuser. So the Safe Dates curriculum has been significant in identifying behavior and patterns of behavior that are not beneficial to students. Our teen outreach program is a positive youth development program, and it's also evidence-based. Our staff were just trained in that model, and we look to implement that in the fall. A lot of students come with degrees of stress and anxiety. They like to say, I have social anxiety. And a lot of the kids we find know the terminology, so they come to us telling us a lot of times how they're feeling, and then the groups are designed to help them cope better. Yes, You Can is a book that we're using that gives a pathway to success in secondary schools. And then we've partnered with the Mental Health Association in New Jersey. They funded Trenton Central High School to train the entire 10th grade class in the fall. They will be certified in teen mental health first aid. So 10% of the high school staff were trained in youth mental health first aid. And then all of the school-based staff and the SAC staff were trained as instructors. So in the fall, we will roll out teen mental health first aid, and each 10th grader will be certified again in teen mental health first aid. So these are just some of the activities. We ensure that when there is a themed month that we participate, whether it's back to school, Hispanic heritage, we have Halloween types of activities, Children's Grief Awareness Month, Human Trafficking Awareness, Teen Dating Violence Awareness, Women's History Month, Autism Awareness, Mental Health, and Pride Month. Per the DCF contract, we are required to have an advisory board, and our advisory board is made up of various individuals from the school and the community. And this year we added students and parents. And I must say the student participation has been tremendous in that we've been able to take some of their feedback and implement it. And I'll give you an example. One of our PLP, or our teen parents, recently shared with us that because they have to get on the bus at 2 o'clock, they're missing out on activities. So we've been able to now offer extended hours for our teen parents to participate in school-wide activities. How am I doing on time? So I require, am I over time? So one of my requirements of all the staff is that they participate in some community-based coalition or meeting. So some of those are the Traumatic Loss Coalition. We participate in the district-wide crisis team and some others. This is our list of partners. We're obviously funded by the Department of Children and Families. We're supplemented by Trenton Board of Education, and Oaks Integrated Care is our subcontract agency for our mental health and youth development staff. And I just wanted to share some pictures. These are from all the schools at different times. So we've been to Broadway, we've been to Morgan and Coppin and other colleges, Colonial Bowling and Entertainment. Each year we take students from all 3 high schools to the Planned Parenthood Teen Conference. We have various paint and choose and mommy and me dinners. We have various speakers come in for assembly types of programming. And I definitely wanted to show you, last but not least, these are our parents and babies at Adventure Aquarium, at the Philadelphia Zoo. And this is Halloween, a couple of the kids for Halloween. And then we just definitely wanted to highlight the fathers who are involved in the children's lives. And that's it. Any questions? Okay, thank you.
We do have a question.
Somebody had a question?
I actually have 3 questions. I'll start
Okay.
with the easier one. The rollout in the fall for the sophomores, the 10th graders,
Yes.
we're talking about the students themselves. They will be trained.
Yes, every 10th grader at Trenton High School.
That's
Yes.
awesome. The other question was the teen outreach program. What does that look like?
So the teen outreach program, great question. So it focuses on connectedness, protective factors, effective communication, violence prevention, and just social skills, in that it promotes self-efficacy to engage in positive behavior.
And how do you know what students go into the different areas of your activities and groups? Or do they ask for it, or, you know?
So what we do is, because we get a lot of referrals, sometimes we look at the referrals and see if there are themes. So based on some of the themes, we'll say to the student, well, we're offering this particular group, would you be interested? Or we speak to the administrators, teachers, guidance counselors, and culture and climate specialists to see if there are actually any students that they may refer as well. And then during the summer, when we're spending time with students who are coming into the high school from the 9th grade academy, because we have the 9th grade academy staff already in place at 9th grade, we already know what group we may need to work with.
Okay. And my last question has to do with safety planning with students and families. Now I should have written down the question. While I remember, Sasa, you had a question?
Thank you. So I'm trying to actually visualize the actual process, and I have a couple questions around that.
Okay.
First is,